Okay, so first thing we need to do is remove these float cover cases, and we're going to do one side at a time because that way you don't mix up any of the parts, and if you do mess something up internally you have a reference one to look at. So first of all, there's 4 Phillips head screws. Take those out and pop off the float cover top case. Then we got to remove this pin right here, the float pin, and then remove this assembly. New technique, using these to grab and this to hit. Yeah! Alright, so we're going to remove this float pin. So right now we're here. So I'm most interested actually in this time around is cleaning out those jets I removed and all the stuff that's in here. I'm not quite as worried about the vacuum side because well, I think it's more likely a clogged jet because this thing was sitting for a few years. You know what the fuck, I'm going to open up the other side because I want to compare, since one of my cylinders wasn't firing at all. I want to see if there's any real visible differences to suggest that one side wasn't getting gas. Since I've never done this before, seeing a good one and a bad one side by side will help if it actually is different. This is a little nut in there. Literally a nut. Get out of there. I don't know, guys. So this is the main jet. Underneath here is the needle jet holder, which I'm about to remove. This is the slow jet that was in here. And this slide, the slow valve, actually I can't see any light through it, so that's a good sign, I guess. The other side I can clearly see light through, but this one I can't, so this is a good target as one of my sources of my problems. Meanwhile, I'm going to start soaking all these jets in some of the carb cleaner and let it sit in there for a while. Actually took myself a minute to get oriented, but this is the side that I was having the misfiring issues on that had the completely clogged slow plug. Well, there you have it. Now I actually hopped on my computer for a minute to check what the slow jet was, since it didn't sound like it was that important, and I had just, was using whatever the reference manual called it. And it turns out the slow jet means the same thing as pilot jet, and people say that that's, 90% of the time the problem. Since I saw visible obstruction in the pilot jet, cleaning it out, going to reassemble, and hopefully it works this time. If not, I'm going to have to take this apart in more detail, in which case you'll get an even more detailed video. But for now, I think this will be it. Just going to finish cleaning this up, put it back together, and we'll test it out. Here are all the little giblets I cleaned out. Pilot jet, some other jet, little float valves, and then the little pins, which didn't really need to clean, but whatever. I finally got it out, guys. What I did was I couldn't find the steel or brass brushes that I had lying around, and so I found this wire though, so I stripped that out, and that was narrow enough to get down here and help move the carb cleaner through, and then I blasted it out with some compressed air, and I could finally see through it. And what that means, my beautiful viewers, is that it's ready to be reassembled. So I am just going to go ahead and do that in the reverse order of what I showed you for disassembly, and then we'll test it out. So I hope this video helped some of you out there. See you later.